I just came out of the ladies' room, and this other lady was in there. She was putting on her makeup, and she looked at me. I said, well, how do I look? She said, well, sister, you need to fix your wig. The back looks like it should be in the front, and the front looks like it should be in the back. So I suggest you go in the mirror. I said, wow, yeah, I have got an interview, so I better fix my wig. That lady taught me something. What we have in our life is gold. Welcome, fellow Toastmasters and most honored guests. What we have in our life is gold. Have we found the gold? Are we looking for the gold? That lady in the bathroom, did she give me any gold? I would say she did. She gave me a reminder to always look in the mirror. When I was a youngster, about 15 years old, I had a person in my family tell me, Alexis, you know, you're not really doing so well in school, so I suggest you drop out. Drop out, just save all of us a lot of time and energy, and just drop out of school. That took me by a storm. Did that person give me any gold? I don't know. I have to figure that out. Maybe they gave me a little bit of gold. The gold that they gave me was no matter what, to continue in school and in my life, no matter what anybody says. Fast forward some 20-something years ago. By the way, I did finish school. And I didn't have no 10 babies and get on welfare like that person was claiming I was going to do. I started working for EBMUD, the water company in Oakland. And I walked into their Toastmaster club. I thought, well, my job's boring as anything. I might as well do something exciting. So I walked into the Toastmaster club. I went to some meetings. I really enjoyed it. I gave my first speech, and they loved it. They were laughing all over the place with my speech. They gave me lots of gold with my speech. However, I started on my second speech. I delivered my second speech. I thought it was pretty dynamic. However, there was a young lady there who gave me an evaluation. We all have evaluations, you know, feedback we get in our lives. She did not like my speech, and she did not like Alexis Bennett. Can you believe it? Who wouldn't like Alexis Bennett? But she said, Alexis, sorry to say, you don't have what it takes to do public speaking. I suggest you give it up right now. Right now, while you haven't wasted a lot of time. Did she give me any gold? I would say maybe a teensy, weensy little bit. However, at that same Toastmaster meeting, there was an older Toastmaster leader there, and he said, Alexis, I don't care what she said. You're about to bust through the screen. You are a Toastmaster. You are a great performer, and you are going to be a great speaker. Wow, I was stunned. I'm like, how does he know what my life is going to entail? I stayed in that club for a couple of years. I eventually became president of that club. They encouraged me to get into youth leadership. I thought about youth leadership. I got into it, and the first year was great. The kids loved me. They said, Miss Bennett, I know you only needed 1 point for youth leadership for one of your goals, but can you please come back next year? Well, what happened was every year they kept saying, please come back one more year. I ended up doing youth leadership for 8 years. I had a lot of fun. The gold that I received was major. I had one student, when he gave his first speech, his very first speech, this was him. He said, this is my first speech. I'm going to talk about my vacation to Japan. That's the end of my speech. When it came time to his sixth speech, he brought in his karate tools and he was brandishing them, and he looked around the room and he looked at the woman in the back of the room. He said, the lady in the back with the purple hat and the orange shirt, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do you believe me? That was something. He got the idea of Toastmasters, that's for sure. Later on, I found out that that student was accepted into Harvard. And some of my youth leadership students have been accepted into Yale and Brown and UC. So I will have to say that find the gold. You never know where that gold's gonna lead to. Thank you very much.